First item on the agenda is to approve the previous meeting minutes, our regular meeting on December 2nd and our December 4th meeting for opening the bids for the Webster County Law Enforcement Courtroom Remodel Project.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 1. I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion, a second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 2, receive and place on file drainage repairs. I have one drainage repair to report today. This is for drainage district number 34, lateral B in Clay Township. We have a blowout in the tile line and that replaced. This is turned in by Lloyd Stewart. So I will take a motion to receive and place on file the drainage repair.
Mr. Chairman, I make that motion. Second.
Motion second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Moving on, item number 3 is to receive and place on file the manure management plan updates for RSH Farms Incorporated in Section 6 of Baton Township and Envirotech Power Washing and Ag Services LLC, Point 8 and 9 in Section 32 of Yell Township.
Chairman, I move item 3.
Second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion second, any discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Item number 4, approve and authorize the chair to sign a wellness program agreement between the Iowa State Association of Counties and Webster County, Iowa.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. HR here to give us a report on that? She is not, but basically what we have is a continuation of previous wellness programs where we encourage Webster County employees to participate in programs to improve their overall health and wellness, thus trying to affect positively their quality of life and the insurance premiums for Webster County. Included in this will be, as in the past, wellness bonus dollars that are given up to a maximum of $250 to the participants for taking part in the program. Any questions? Okay, seeing none. All in favor, Hoover, of approving and authorizing the chair to sign the wellness agreement, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 5. Approve and authorize the chair to sign a resolution in support of petition for voluntary annexation from Clyde and Diane Nutt into the city of Fort Dodge. Property described as lots 1 and 2 of the Airport Industrial Development Plat in the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 8, Township 89 North, Range 28 West of the 5th Primary Area in Webster County, Iowa.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 5. Second, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on this item? Seeing none, call for vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6, approve and authorize the chair to sign the annual urban renewal report and tax increment financing indebtedness certification report as filed online December 1st, 2014 per prior board action.
Mr. Chairman, I move item number 6. Second.
Motion second. Auditor, do you have anything to tell us about
I
this?
just said it's so clear right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions from the board? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes. Item number 7, consider/approve the recommendation of Halo Architecture regarding the bids received for the Webster County Law Enforcement Center Courtroom Remodel Project. I will ask Mr. West from Halo Architecture to come up and give us his recommendation. Watch the guy in the green coat. He needs butter.
Good morning, thank you. Bids were received for the courtroom remodel project on Thursday, December 4th. There were 3 bids received, one from Jensen Builders, one from Colossia Construction, and one from Woodruff Construction. Colossia Construction was the lowest bidder at $385,500. And after review of their bid and discussions with Vince Colossia, our recommendation is to proceed with Colossus Construction. He feels comfortable with his subcontractors and his ability to meet the schedule that's there for.
One question on schedule, we have it as April 15th, starting December 15th, including April 15th, but I think there's a document that says the end of April.
Okay, yes, the specifications do call for substantial completion to be April 15th. And substantial completion simply means the project is complete enough that you could occupy the space. We generally give contractors anywhere from 15 to 30 days to complete punch list items. So final completion, where every punch list item needs to be completed, is April 15th.
It's the court system scheduling, starting 16th, 17th, right after that.
And they could do that. There just may be, a few things that have to be finished up, paint, touch up, those sorts of things.
Are we going to discuss the IT part of that?
This is the time to ask questions.
That came in, I don't know if you're going to address that issue. I spoke to Vince this morning, he said he sent the outline to you of his subcontractor for the IT portion of it and electrical. And then we tried to print out the specs today, we weren't able to, we were able to bring some.
I have a set of specifications.
Okay, can we go through that, the IT side of it?
Sure.
How that happened?
Absolutely. We've got Chris Davis with Modus Engineering, who helped with the design of the electrical and technology portion.
In other words, we feel that this is quite significantly over what the engineer's estimate was. And we'd like to know what you see reason for that might be.
Okay.
Sure.
Join me up, you bet. I just received from Vince a few minutes ago that breakdown, so I didn't have a chance to print it out.
Do you want to email it to me and I'll print it?
Sure.
For the benefit of the audience, what's the difference? From what?
80,000 or 157?
I think that was the total electrical budget was like
115.
It was, yeah, it was over.
Yeah, 880.
Yeah,
IT was
the IT and electrical on estimate before the bid was $115,000 roughly, and the bid came in at $187,000, so it's substantially higher, that's why we just want to know.
I think some of that might be built into the redundancy that we asked for when we asked for the kind of the cold spare to be placed in the rack, so that if anything ever happened where we needed a replacement, we basically outfitted it with a redundant head end piece, and so that might have come in a little bit more than what we expected.
Because when we discussed that, we said that would be $79,000 for that.
Right. And I'm guessing after they fully build it out, program it, we're probably looking at 10 to 11K for that redundant piece. But that would offer you comfort, security, knowing that if something happened to that, you would have an easy, quick replacement to keep both courtrooms active. Otherwise, if you didn't have it and it went down, you're taking down 2 courtrooms. So,
The answer is 10,000.
That's 10,000, yeah.
10 down, 10 down.
right.
Well, could I ask this, is it possible for, in order to keep the project moving forward, is it possible to, accept the architect's recommendation and then, direct the architect and the owners, which would be us, and the contractors to get together and look at any kind of value engineering on the IT portion of it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's certainly possible.
And Chad, we had another question. The fire rating on the exterior panel, why do we have fire rating on that?
Is that the wood paneling?
Yes.
Yeah, good question. The way that the specifications are written is that the wood panels have to be Class C rated, which means that they have to meet certain requirements for smoke rating or fire rather than breakout. Most of the near plywood actually meets Class C rating, so it doesn't have to be treated with fire rating per se. We do have fire rated framing under the platforms, and that is required because of the building type that the law enforcement center is. It's type 2 construction, which means it has to be all non-combustible materials. So the International Building Code requires fire rated framing for that.
Framing, but not the panel.
Correct.
So we could say, some savings there by not having the veneer.
That depends upon who chooses for a subcontractor. The subcontractor may or may not have bid as fire rated.
Right.
I have a question about the direction we're going. You basically say we're gonna relook at the IT portion of it after we accept Flush or bid. Is that appropriate in a bidding situation?
It is. It's very appropriate, especially when you have a low bid and you want to move the project forward. If you have some concern about what your project cost is and you want to identify ways to reduce that, what's very difficult to do is to say we're going to reject everything and then redesign the project and put it out for bid again. Number one, it delays your project tremendously. Number two, it really kind of sours the industry on that project, and it's hard to get people to rebid projects. And I will tell you, right now, there is a lot of work out there to bid, so.
But are we accepting the project total, or are we accepting the project? Because you said bid, and I agree narrowly, but how are we able to go back and pick this IT part aspect of this bid apart?
Well, basically, once we select that we're working with a little bit, we can then call a meeting where we would sit down and talk about value engineering pieces and parts and components. I'm actually very satisfied. I got 3 phone calls from 3 different contractors. We had AVI, CEC, and CTI all bid the project, so I feel that there was good competition. Looking at kind of the breakdown, it looks like the AV portion came in at around 101 of that whole number. So 50K of that was an additional 50K would have been for the electrical piece of that. And what we're finding is a lot of the electricals are very busy right now. And so they're still wanting to participate in bid events, but they're just not quite as hungry as we've seen in the past couple of years. So that could be also a piece to this.
So you're saying that the electrical's 50,000 instead of 35,000?
Right, from what I'm looking at here, from the Colasha breakdown, it looks like they were 54,600 was their total number.
15, that's, now we're to 25,000 of the 70. Okay, I just asked the question because I want to be comfortable, and it makes sense to me that you do it that way, that once we take a low bid, we can actually add or subtract from the
Yes.
project.
Yes.
As long as I know that process is good, either, I'm okay with moving forward, but I still want to sit down with Mr. Senior and look at these details here.
From a layman's standpoint, can you consider this a spending authority?
Can I consider,
Well, when we take a look at it and we see that there's a $20,000 or $50,000 difference or savings, ultimately, we set $187,000 as a project as part of the deal. That's a spending authority. If indeed we have the freedom to go back and visit about the various charges and take a look at something that might be excessive. Am I understanding this correctly?
yeah, absolutely.
Along that lines, what are we going to approve today? Are we approving the total amount with all of these?
That's
And then we'll take an hour.
That's what
we're
we'll,
gonna approve.
well, what we can do, we have the base bid and we have 2 alternates. So we need to make a decision on the alternates too. And then it's, once there's a base bid and then there's value engineering. These guys love that terminology. Value engineering, that's usually when they take all the casework out of the job. And so I got $2,500 worth of meal work left over. But anyway, then there's a change order to that original contract. And that's how you get that contract amount reduced.
And we have seen that in the past, change orders going down. Most of them go down sometimes.
So to that point, Chad, could you refresh everybody's memory on we have a base bid and then we have 2 alternates.
Yes.
And could you read off what they are so the board can make the appropriate motions and actions here?
Certainly. There were 2 alternates included in this project. The first alternate, number 1, was the addition, add to the project for 2 wall-mounted digital boom signs. And that was an add to the project of $7,500. Alternate number 2 was actually a deduct alternate to delete the wood veneer panel that we discussed earlier in quarter number 1, and that was a reduction of $6,300. So when you take just alternate number 1, just alternate two, the cost would be $379,200. If you took both alternates, it's really a wash. It becomes $386,700. So it really depends on what you guys want to include in the project. If the room signage is more valuable than the wainscoting, it's certainly your choice. You can take the one or the other. You can take both.
I'll start, I think we do both. I don't think we need the signs, and I don't think we need things, but that would be where I'd start the discussion anyway.
I agree, we can do the signage differently for less in-house and, wainscoting, I think.
Wainscoting, sorry, is that out in the entryway?
No, that's courtroom.
It is in the courtroom,
The small one.
in the small courtroom.
Actually, the big one.
What's the big one? I mean,
Wainscoting, and the difference there is basically either doing something like this or drywall.
Correct.
it's not to that degree of complexity at all.
Yeah. I'd stand by my opinions on that, that we can drywall instead of wainscoting.
We're not doing the type of alters, but
Well, and it doesn't matter, I think I discussed this with you guys, but wainscoting looks real nice for a while, but I don't know if you have two arguments, either aesthetics or wearability, and I don't believe that wainscoting is more wearable than drywall, because if it gets damaged, it's harder to fix than drywall. So it's just my personal opinion that the only reason you do it is if you want it to look aesthetically different, but I think we're gonna have enough wood in with the benches and all that stuff in the courtroom, that this is one place we can throw it on the books. My two cents.
Would you care to make a motion?
Yeah, my turn. I would, move that we take the Kalasha, bid, with, considering the two options, which would then be, his, base bid would be $379,200, I believe. And a total project cost, estimated at $477,200.
We have a motion, do I have a second on that?
I'll second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion is second, do we have any further discussion today? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, selecting the base bid and both alternates from Kalasha Construction, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I have a question about that, and this is with the idea in mind that we have the freedom to sit down at a future date for review parties.
Of course, and I believe that that's part of the project when you inform the contractor that, that first meeting that you guys can start to work on value engineering. And anything that you, as you look through the project scope, anything you have questions on that you feel might be extravagant, that's the time to discuss it. Keeping in mind though, the longer you delay decisions, the longer you can draw the project.
Because to clarify, they're starting this next week.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to a good project. There's just a little warning. Okay. Moving on, item number 8. Set December 23rd, 2014 at 10 a.m. as the time and date for a public hearing on a proposal authorizing a non-current debt pursuant to Iowa Code Section 331.478, loaning public health special revenue fund $300,000 from the general basic fund to be repaid from said special revenue fund over a 4-year period for the remodeling of the public health department's occupied space in the old bank building.
I'll second, Mr.
We
Chairman.
have a motion and a second. Could we have a little explanation of what we're doing?
Yep. This is the remodeling of the second floor of the former bank building. Public health's general offices will be upstairs on the second floor, shared by County Social Services. On the east side, the public health is taking the former Friends Center space. The project is ongoing, actually nearing completion. Paint and ceilings being installed today. I believe carpet starts next week. As I said, their offices will be upstairs. The clinic still held in the basement. They still have the public health clinic on 12th Street. And this will be paid back through revenue
electric.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Do we have any further discussion or questions? See none, all in favor of setting December 23rd, 2014 at 10 a.m. as a public hearing, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes. Item number 9 is to approve and authorize the chair to sign an agreement with the Iowa Department of Transportation for roadway maintenance on institutional roads within Brushy Creek State Park, as requested by authorized Department of Natural Resources personnel.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 9.
I'll second this.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any comments from the engineer?
Do you have any questions? Okay, just to clarify that the paved main route through Brushy Creek State Park is under the jurisdiction of the county, but there are other offshoots of those roads that are not our responsibility. And if they would like to have, upon request, to have the county come in and blade some of the roads, occasional snow removal, or fix some structures, drainage structures, or tiling, this agreement will make that happen more easily.
Comfortable with everything?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the agreement with the Iowa DOT, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes. Next item on the agenda is Mr. Mike Robertson of Iowa Central Community College to discuss the farm lease. Is anybody left at the college? Come forward, please.
It's a farm program, they're not doing anything. 2 weeks in the fall. Hey,
Oh, now they're all rushing the bank.
Here they come, here goes Kelly.
Boy,
you should open your mouth. Yes, you guys. I say it's
Boy, you guys are
That was
just
from
give
Mr.
Mr. Ladai a big hug there. We're
They're not smiling. That wasn't for the good students, that was for the
Okay. All right, we want to thank you guys for allowing us to come in and speak with you today. I'm going to turn it over here to the students shortly. Just guys give you some background. These students would have just managed the last year's crop. Each year, a new class manages from start to finish, from spring to fall, that crop ground, so they can take some of the knowledge that they've learned in the classes and hopefully apply it in real life type situations, hands-on type situation. And so they have managed just this last year, and they're going to be turning it over to the next class actually next semester. So it starts in the spring is their first semester, and then the second semester is in the fall to finish. So they can go through a whole crop year with that same crop, so they can manage it from start to finish. I'm going to give you guys some handouts. I'm going to let them kind of take over and visit with you guys about what they've seen here with the finances the last few years, so we can talk about the lease for the upcoming 2015 year.
Hey, while he's handing these out, why don't you guys introduce yourselves and where you're from too? It's always good for them to hear that.
I'm Bailey Laura, I'm from Berlin.
I'm Nick Davis. I'm from Hubble.
Dylan Peters from Humboldt.
Austin Sidorus from Jefferson.
Alexis Hansen from Lanyon.
She's our secretary workforce here today, down with us. We take our stuff back to the class, and let them know what actually happened during the meetings. Yeah, real quick interjection, I guess, here. Within the class, there's different committees. So there's a finance committee, public relations committee, machinery committee, and then a crop committee. And so we have different committees, and so each one has different responsibilities, and then they report back to the class, and the class makes decisions on that farm. So, go ahead, guys.
Okay, so I guess we'll start off with the 2013 corn crop numbers. The income that we had on that was $96,869, and that's with the insurance payment included. Expenses are $89,044.53, and then the profit that we got off of that was $7,825, or that roughly estimates to about $71 an acre. And the 2013 soybean crop numbers, the income on those was $55,329, and that's also with the insurance and payment included. the expenses were $68,918, and so that was a loss for us of $13,588 or $123 an acre.
Moving on to the next page, for the 2013 crop, or hay crop, excuse me, we had roughly $17,801 of income off that. Total expenses was $17,356. So a total profit off the hay was $445, or roughly about $14.83 an acre for the hay number. For the total 2013 cropping season, out of the whole farm, which is both corn, beans, and hay, the whole farm, we actually lost $5,318.66, or per acre basis, that would be $21.27 per acre we lost.
And projected for 2014 corn crop, our projected income was 191 bushels times the 330 corn, and came with 630 with insurance payment included. Not included. Projected expenses was $452.13, plus $300 rent, equal $752. Then our prices come from new co-op. Projected income was 60 bushel with 955 at 573. Projected expenses was $275.81 plus a $300 rent, equal $575.81. That's for soybeans.
Projected 2014 hay crop, income was $440.43, about 5 bales an acre a year. And they have not been sold yet. Projected expenses are $219.23 plus our rent $300, so it was $519.22. And projected whole farm was $16,052.80, or $64.21 an acre. And projected whole farm with insurance was $2,852.80, or $25.93 an acre loss. So that was our projected for this year. We realize the crops are already out of the field, however, we still have corn and soybeans in storage. So the numbers, actual profit-wise, that can vary depending on price and also at the class what we decide to do as we continue our marketing scheme and learning the marketing side of things. So for our projected 2015 corn, soybean, and hay crops, the first page that you guys are looking at there is the corn crop for this upcoming 2015 year. And with that, our projected income, we're going to say that we're going to hopefully get 187 bushel of corn an acre, and we're looking at a price of $3.67, which gives us $686.29. Projected expenses would be $452.13, and then with that was our cash run, correct?
That's that's what we'd have to be able to pay for break even on the corn with our projected numbers.
Yeah. So with our projected numbers for break even at 234.16, that would be our break even. And once again, those are off of the cash prices from new co-op. So. And then for soybeans, our projected income is, we're going to say we're going to have 47 bushel to the acre, and at $9.30 for beans, that comes to $437.10. Our projected expenses are roughly $275.81, with a break-even rent of $161.29. And then for our 2015 hay crop, our projected income is 440, 440.43. Once again, we're going to say we're going to have about 5 bales an acre. And then our projected expenses on that is $219.23 with a break even on the hay ground at $221.20. So out of the whole farm, for an average break-even price, we're looking at about $200.54.
So it makes you wonder why you want to be a farmer. You lost money in 2013 farming because of market. You should have made money in 2013.
Well, the other thing you also have to look at is, prices did drop in 2013, but also we don't collect subsidies, us as farmers collect subsidies, but as the college as a whole, we don't collect subsidies.
So none of these prices reflect any government.
What's that?
None of these prices reflect any government payments. You didn't receive any government.
Just,
Okay.
it'd be one government entity paying it.
Yeah. Just a problem.
We do take donations.
It's interesting to watch 2 years in a row.
This is the wrong department for that.
In the expenses, could you explain a little bit about your expenses? Is that just the general farming expenses, instructors, college fee? I mean, what goes into your expenses? Just
Our expenses are based off of the Iowa State Extension rates. We have 2 custom farmers that come in and do all the farm work for us, and so that's what the majority of our expenses is. Plus, on top of that, purchasing seed, working with new co-op out of Otho for chemical fertilizers, stuff like that. Whatever us as a class decide to do that here. So.
Those expenses are just what it takes to put the crop in and get it out.
That includes structure or anything like that. Structure or anything.
Yeah.
The farm program is losing more money than this is even showing. That's what I'm trying to get at. And then another quick question is, do you do some, what I call experimental farming out there to teach you guys? So maybe that affects your yields too? I mean,
Yes, we do. This year, we decided to go with a conventional type program. The only thing that we didn't have conventional was Roundup Ready beans. So this year we did conventional corn, and
We did have some GMO corn in there too.
Did we?
Yeah. For comparison purposes.
and with that, we did, instead of doing a chemical program, we decided that we were going to cultivate. And so we did do the cultivating this year and stuff like that, which incurred a little bit extra expense.
I want to appreciate the communication. When we had some concerns from neighbors of why there were so many weeds in a certain area of the field, I contacted the college, immediately had a phone call explaining what you guys were doing, and that communication helps because then we're able to respond to people who do call and ask questions. So appreciate that very much.
And you guys will be receiving a newsletter shortly. Every year, the class puts out a newsletter with a year-end review of what they were doing and what they've been looking at and what some of the results were too, what they've been studying.
Aside from an educational value, and if you want to place that as a large value, so be it. But have you thought about eliminating growing hay when you lose money doing that? Are you not feeding it to your own animals? I don't think maybe, or would you not eliminate that program and put it all back into corn and beans?
A quick add-on to that is how many acres are you harvesting?
30 acres.
30 acres.
Yes. Most likely they have 110 in each, corn and soybeans.
There's 110 of both corn and soybeans, and then there'd be 30 acres of hay ground.
And I just bring that up so you can answer it, but I didn't know when it was gonna be appropriate, but I talked to Dr. Kenny this morning, that the 9 or 10 acres to the east of the home out there, we probably aren't gonna lease to get any longer, because we don't know the shit there. Just so that's out there to the appropriate people.
The county engineer called me. Yeah, we've been in communication too. So, and actually, if you go back and look, the hay actually did make some money. Actually, it did better than some of the other crops. So,
Soybeans where you got.
yeah. So, and we do use some of that hay for the rodeo program, so that they don't have to go and buy which actually would have saved money because we could produce it cheaper than we could have gone out and bought it, especially a couple of years there where it got really high. So, yeah.
And in addition to that, the hay ground on the north side of the road also allows us access to that field for class purposes, being able to park down there and be able to walk out in the field and do different activities out there versus parking on the road or whatnot there.
Yeah, there's multiple classes that actually use there. This is the class that manages, but multiple classes use it for different projects and different learning opportunities as well.
And in 2015, you had estimated $3.67 for corn and $9.30 for beans, correct?
Yes.
And though, did I hear you say that those figures came from the co-op?
Yes, those were off of the new co-op fusion prices.
And what's your experience been in terms of how well you predict for the upcoming year? Have you been spot on normally or not?
Close, but no cigar.
There's a lot of factors out there worldwide anymore. It's a global market. Right now you look down into South America and with their late crop, are they going to be able to double crop? Who knows? That's going to affect what that price does. If I had a crystal ball, I probably wouldn't be in here right now, but I'd be enjoying myself. But we don't know for sure. You take the information you have. Hindsight's always 20/20, and so they're trying to look at. And that came off, I believe it was 11/20 was the date on that. I believe it's a little up from there today if I looked. But that was the date that we had to put this together and get it printed. So that's the number we had to use, so yes. If you kind of have an estimate on what your expenses are going to be, then you try to mark it at the appropriate times, not put all your eggs in one basket and hope that at the end of the day you get a few rallies that you can make good on. So, yeah.
I appreciate you guys, the opportunity for what you're trying to help you guys out with the farm. Yeah, we could rent the farm out for more money, but, we see the appreciation of you guys, the kids. We got to have our younger generation start farming, and this is the only way they're going to get in it. If the county has to take a little loss on the rent, I can understand that. You guys, because you can show us that you aren't making any money. I know you're not making. You got to show that.
You got them at home.
I got them at home. Yeah, so,
A little bigger amounts than ours.
yeah.
You guys put a lot of effort.
Yes.
And you need to be complimented. This is very impressive. When you come and present something like this to us.
And I hope the messenger's getting this down on the radio. The farmers aren't making any money the last 2 years. It's right there. We might have got a few subsidies, but they didn't make up the difference. A few subsidies.
2012?
No, it's really good. I'm glad that you guys came in because we do have to balance, to be on the other side of it, we do have to balance giving you guys a good program and giving you breaks on the
Break on
mountain.
it, yeah.
So we just have to be able to explain it to the community. When you guys come in and tell us this, it gives us the ability to explain what you're doing.
Are we gonna write a per acre, price tag?
So you guys are recommending the rent to be 200 this year?
That is what we're asking, yes.
I do have one question on that, Mike, again, just so for the public and everybody, Keith, what is your estimate of what the rents for next year are gonna be in the county?
Well, the
Average.
farmers are paying between 250 and 300.
Yeah, but there's pressure from the farmers
Oh, yeah.
on everything to
Yeah.
lower these too.
But that includes subsidies, right?
That includes subsidies.
Because we-
Exactly.
Some are paying more.
Yeah.
There's farmers
Oh,
out there
yeah.
paying 350.
Well, exactly. So I'm just trying to get to another comfort level that we're not giving them a half price or something.
No, we're not. If we put this out for bids, we probably get between 3 and 300. Somebody would probably pay it, but that's not our intent.
No, this is
we
investment.
no, this is investment in Webster County in the future, is what I look at that.
As long as we're gonna keep the farm, then
This is the way it should go.
I would make the motion that we set the rent for $200 an acre next year.
That's the motion. Do I have a second? We have a motion and a second that we set the cash rent for.
I'm sorry, Mr. Singer, you have.
No, but I would have probably gone a little bit lower than that if Dr. King.
The man who works me over on this.
Knowing that these prices are, the prices you put in probably not make any money next year too. So, cause you don't, I mean, you can insure for a loss, but that costs money too, so. No, I think 200 is a fair rent. Could we get more? Yes, but I think 200 is a fair rent in today's market.
For all what they wanna do and what we want.
Yes.
Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes enthusiastically.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Very much. Good presentation. Guys. You guys worked them over a lot better than I
This
did.
experience itself is worth a
Dr.
couple
Kenny
hundred
would never got
dollars.
that. That'd have been
We
maybe
could have,
400.
we could have him down to 100 and keep it.
Probably true. No
All right.
respect, Bob, I'm giving you.
Okay, now is the time for citizens to address the board on the items that are not on the agenda. If anyone care to address the board today? Seeing none, we'll move on to, do we have any board supervisor committee reports today?
We've already been updated on the courtroom remodeling project, we'll keep everybody updated on that. Okay.
Growth Alliance Executive Committee today, nothing really newsworthy there. They continue to work with several companies around the community and more defense companies up there. They're trickling in, so I think it's just a matter of time before we see hopefully some other companies come to town around that part. They had a really good, Kenny hosted a, it sounds like a very successful career days for the kids out of college. Put on by the college and the schools and the local ones, so really about all from that.
Nothing from me.
Very good. If there's nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
A motion second, all in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you everyone for coming today. Thank you, board, for your.
Good job, you guys. Really good job. So, it's a good experience to do this. So,